mute. Do I need to? I'll call this meeting to order of the Common Council, Wednesday, August 12th, 2026, 7 p.m. Council Chambers. Can I have a roll call, please?
Prisbel. Here. Hill. Here. Holly.
Here.
Stubby. Here. Claviter. Here. And Sorensen is excused. 5 present.
Thank you. Number 2 is seat virtual attendees, which we do not have any. Number 3, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 4 is general public comments, which we do not have any. Next is the consent agenda. The consent agenda contains items which staff considers to be routine and have already been discussed and recommended by committee, board, or commission at a previous meeting. Staff recommends that council act on all these items in a single roll call vote. If any member of council wishes to have any items removed from the consent agenda and discussed, the council may request the items be removed from the consent agenda prior to the adoption. Looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'll second that.
Motion by Victoria, second by Terry. Roll call, please.
Prisbel.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Holly.
Aye.
Stubby.
Aye.
Claviter.
Aye.
5.
Motion carries. Thank you. Number 13 is the Senior Center Transportation Program and Meals on Wheels Congregate Meal Set Update. The recommendation is to listen to the presentation and update from Ryan from the Aging EDRC Unit Manager with Green Lake County regarding the Senior Center's participation in Green Lake County's programs. Discussion and action as appropriate. Ryan.
All right, hello everybody.
Hello.
So, like you mentioned, I'm Ryan Mamber. You don't know me, I'm the manager for the Green Lake County Aging ADRC. And here just to give a kind of state of the union of what our nutrition program is looking like moving in the future and our senior transportation. So as you may or may not have known, the Berlin Senior Center was one of our meal caterers for many years. I don't even know how many years. I've been here for 4 years now, and before that time, they were a caterer for us. We also have another caterer in the Green Lake County area that serves the southern portion of Green Lake County, which is it's housed in Marcus Hand. And then we had the Berlin Senior Center. So this year, so we have to always put in a 2-year bid. So we're in a bid year. And as you guys know, the decision was made that the Berlin Senior Center was not going to move forward with the bid for the nutrition program. And I don't think I have to educate you guys on the reasons for that unless you want me to. You guys discuss that. So where we're at the county-wise, we had our bid process up until July 17th for people to submit their bids. We had a few bids. We had Crossroads submit a bid, Family Triangle here in the Berlin area submitted a bid, updated, and then we have our Marcus Hand Resident Home, which serves our southern part of Green Lake County. So here for the Berlin area, the Family Triangle was voted and approved by my Commission on Aging and then the Green Lake County Health and Human Services. So the Family Triangle will be serving this portion of the county, which also covers some Green Lake area and the northern ends of the Berlin area. I think there's about 40 to 45 home delivered meals that get served out of here 5 days a week. Our plan, and so right now what we're doing, so we accepted the bid for the triangle. Now we're looking at our budget and we're discussing now just more of the specific details of the formalities of how do we move forward, what's the best for our consumers. Our hope and goal is, because we enjoyed our partnership with the Berlin Senior Center, actually that was our most active congregate, which we call a congregate as people that come in and have a meal at the center. That's where most of our congregate meals come out of. So we're hoping that we will continue that partnership to have our congregate meals at the Berlin Senior Center, so that partnership would still continue. Really how it's going to look different is really preliminary things here. The Family Triangle, they'll create a full different menu than what they have on their menu. They have to meet our nutrition guidelines. And then they'll cook every day, hot meal. And then we hope that we will be able to bring these hot meals to the individuals at the senior center that want to eat there while we still serve to our home delivery meal participants. So for our consumers, there won't really be anything that changes besides the fact of who's cooking the food. They're still gonna get that nutritious hot meal 5 days a week. And still with the nutrition program, it's more than just a meal, as we find many times, our drivers, because they're interacting with them every day, so they get that daily connection. They'll reach out to us at the county wise and say like, hey, this person seems a little off, can you reach out to them? We have found people, deceased in their home, part of the program, which we've had family members who are like, thank you for doing that, because we wouldn't have talked to them, we wouldn't see them for weeks. So we hear that actually quite a bit. So this program, you know, is really beneficial for the community. But so for the consumers, they don't see anything different. We still have volunteer drivers. So as you guys know too, with part of the Berlin Senior Center, there was drivers that were part of the city of Berlin. Now the Green Bay County will take those over. The difference is we don't have paid staff drivers. We recruit volunteer drivers. We give them a stipend and mileage reimbursement, so we still get some money because we live in Wisconsin. You need to get people out in the snow, and I mean people have big cars, but not everybody just wants to get out there when it's sub-zero out there. So we still have volunteer drivers. If you guys seen the ad, we were, because I believe effective August 1st, we took over that route for the Berlin, for the city of Berlin. We took over the route, and we put an ad in the Berlin paper. I was throwing for that. We got a lot of interest. Kathy, my nutrition coordinator, told me this morning we are now fully loaded. We were filling that with some of the county staff, and then we had some volunteers that were filling a few more days. But now we're going to be fully staffed with volunteers. So we should have 2 or 3 new drivers that are volunteers, and then also we made partnerships with a couple banks in the area that will do some service days for us as well. So not only just I think a positive this was with, I know you guys had a lot of discussions about to move forward with the bid, but I think what this allowed us to do is, I mean, it's not a lie, I mean, now it's public knowledge. The Family Triangle was going to be lower than anything that you guys were going to submit. And we know that the cost of groceries, the cost of food, and the cost of doing everything is just going up. So it allowed us to kind of reach out, which in the years past, we've enjoyed the partnership. We've always went Berlin Senior Center, we're just going to do it. But this allowed us to meet with other caterers and people that are in the business with food that can buy bulk food, and they can supplement what they're already purchasing to help keep the costs down. And what that does for us is that allows us, because there's many counties in the state right now that have waiting lists. We do not have any waiting lists. And so it allows us to hopefully keep that trend where we don't have a waiting list, and then it allowed us that we didn't have to think about cutting people out of the program. Because the way it looks right now, by us going out to get other bids, still provide quality food, but also to then we don't have to think about starting that waiting list or to remove people, because everybody that we have on the meals, we do a really good job of screening out to make sure the people that receive the meals are the ones that really need it. So those would have been some really hard decisions. So I think all of you guys having those conversations, they're really challenging. I know for the community, I feel that a lot of phone calls, maybe you guys have talked to people in the community, were really worried about this and what was going to happen. But I think we're really in a good spot to continue serving quality food and give quality customer service to people. So it's kind of where we're at with the nutrition.
Great. Does anybody have any questions for Ryan? I know it's nice to get facts out. It's nice to have, as you know, we had a lot of those conversations in public, those hard conversations, and I know that I heard a lot of feedback. I don't know if others heard a lot of feedback, but I think a lot of it was worry and not knowing the facts for the future. So having you come tonight was a nice little addition, and having the correct word out and again the facts. But all in all, I think it was a good choice. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You want me to briefly talk about transportation?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So our senior transportation, just to give some brief knowledge about that, is the 8521 Senior Transportation Program. The county receives some funding through state dollars, state grant money, to put on senior transportation for individuals who are 55 and older. The top priorities for this grant is supposed to be medical rides, nutrition, access to nutrition, which means like food pantries, grocery stores, and educational or work purposes. So about 70-80% of our rides are medical appointments. These are routine medical appointments because, as you guys know, in Green Bay County, our transportation is very limited. And so essentially us at the county with this transportation program, this is really what a lot of our seniors have to make sure that they're getting to the medical appointments besides their neighbors or friends or things like that. From the senior center, they were a service provider for us. We would give them a portion of the grant to provide those rides. Really great partnership too with that. Then as even part of, we have to, the county, we have to do a 5-year transportation plan. I think we might be in the 3rd year of it. So a couple years ago when we created this, we meet twice a year. We have community members that come and speak about it. One of the biggest issues that people brought up with transportation at that time is, so a few years ago, we had 5 service providers. We had a Southern Green Lake service provider, we had the city of Princeton, city of Green Lake, and then we had the city, or the senior center, and then Fox River Industries. So people were like, I'm confused, I don't know who to call. Do I call just my portion of the county? And everybody had different rates. So from that, the community was speaking about they really want us to condense and to make it more centralized. So a couple years ago, we worked to make it more centralized. City of Green Lake, actually the mayor of City of Green Lake, a couple years ago, met with me and said, hey, I have some of my assistants and administrative staff giving rides. We can't be doing this. We just can't handle the workload. Would you guys do a better job with the funding? And I was like, take it on. We have to get more volunteers. We can do this. So they did that a couple years ago, and then the city of Princeton, their person retired, and then the next person was like, I can't take this on. This is a lot to do. And so they gave that back. And so now we're in the next stage, which is another positive thing because we can make this more centralized. So moving forward, the portion that went to the Berlin Senior Center is, coming back to Green Lake County, and then moving to 2027, we just keep a larger portion of that funding, and with that money, what I'm able to do, I've added since we've all discussed, I believe, 3 new drivers, so I have a total of 5 transportation volunteer drivers, and they can serve the whole of Green Lake County. And so this way, people call us at the ADRC, and then we can, not only do we get to talk to them, both different services, but then we can get them connected to a driver. It doesn't matter where they live or what location, and then we can centralize the rates. And so everybody's familiar with the rates, they know where to call, and we minimize some of that confusion. So again, we enjoy the partnership with the senior center, but this, I think we're looking at the community, by making this more centralized and with extra funding that I'll be able to keep part of the ADRC. It'll allow me to recruit even more drivers and do more things to keep expanding and enhancing the transportation program.
Great.
This is the easiest meeting I've had to talk about.
It helps with, right, we've had these discussions, and so this was, I'm not gonna say I'm happy that we're finally finding a resolution, but we're finally to that point, so, yeah. Thank you for all the time, and Sue, you too, I'm happy we're at the end of this, and we've figured it all out.
We can talk about something else.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I appreciate you guys' time, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sort that out. Thank you.
Okay, on to number 14, which is the October 1st, 2026 to September 30th, 2027, employee health insurance and employee dental insurance renewal, provider determination and plan selection. The recommendation is to approve the proposal of Health Partner for employee health insurance, employer City of Berlin, provided to include the broad, focused, and select medical plan groups with a plan design of PPO 3,500, 7,100%, I'm stopping. As presented. We discussed this last week. Here's your funny staple that has me done. We just started discussing this last week and before. Jesse, I'm letting you take this.
Okay, so, 2 pieces that I sent you. The first piece actually was about life insurance, part of insurance renewal, and I just want to let you know, we received that this morning, and then this basically says that they are giving us a 0% pay increase. So the life insurance is actually funded by the employees if they wish to have a practice. We pay for 1 unit, and then they supplement with additional units. So we have a 0% rate increase on that, so good news on that, so just wanted to pass that around to you. And then the next piece that I give you is on health insurance renewal. So just like we discussed last week, the strategy that we have to try to keep costs, within reason was to, move forward with the just under 12% increase, which again started much higher, but, through working with our, broker, had some, really good, conversations with health partners, and, we're able to, they were agreed to bring that down for us. Moving to a 90-10%, cost share between the employer and the employee. Like I said, currently, the cost share is at 92.5 and 7.5. So our employees are going to see a definite increase in their contributions. Because now you have the 12% increase overall, and then they are also taking on an additional 2.5% from what they had previous years, or last year, or this current year, sorry. Part of that, it was even different schedule, and we went through all that last year. But so what I wanted to show you, so you have, again, the same pages that I gave you last week, which kind of went through that strategy of offering 3 sets of plans instead of 2. We currently have the broad and the focused. The focused is kind of, I would call it the standard plan in the middle, and then the broad is offers more provider options. Both of them have a Cigna wrap, they call it, so that if you have a loved one that doesn't live in this area, they should be able to find a provider that is in network. But we are looking at providing a third option, which is the Select. The Select, the big difference between it is that it does not have Aurora and it does not have the Cigna wrap. But if you are somebody who utilizes Theta, this may be the most cost-effective option for you. So what I proposed is doing the 90-10 coverage on the focused as kind of the standard plan, as well as on the Select plan, because that plan is actually less expensive. So there would be cost savings for both the employer, us, and the employee, because they're going to pay 10% of a lower total. And then if they wish to maintain or go to the broad, they would, we would only fund it at the same 10% level as the focus. So they would buy up, they would pay for it, that additional. So if you look on, in addition to that, in your packet, you have like 3 of these packets that all look the same. There's one for each of the different plans, for the broad, for the focus, and the Select, and that kind of goes through how the plan works, kind of a summary. But the other little stable portion goes through costs. So this front page was put together for us by our broker, and it shows how much the total plan costs, what the employees would pay, and what the employer would pay if the same number of people take the same plan again. Okay, so currently we have 10 people enrolled in the broad plan on the single level. So when you're looking at the chart. So that comes out to the costs. The bottom one, since no one is currently in Select, just shows if everyone took Select, what that cost would be. So the total cost of this is going to be somewhere amongst here, because obviously everyone can choose which plan they want, and then depending on their life situation, they may be in the family, they may be in the employee plus one, which we have 2 categories of. We have employee plus children, and we have employee plus spouse, and then of course we have the single. So it could roll out just like it did this year, or it could be completely different. That depends on the employee's preference there. The second page shows you a comparison of those costs, versus what we're currently paying and what the renewal would be. And then underneath shows the employee's costs, so monthly and then to next year. So you have the broad current one, and then what it would go to, the focused current one, and what it would go to, and then of course Select that would have a current, but that's what it would go to. So as you can see, all of them would go up. If you maintain that broad, it's going to go up very significantly because of both of those things that I just talked about, it going up 12% overall, and then them taking on that buy-up. So that's why you see a pretty significant increase there. But all of the plans show an increase, just like we said, the Robin focused for a single is still gonna go from, an additional $27 a month. It's just a single. When you go on the family, you're looking at, $70-ish a month. The next page is my spreadsheet where I try to put in everything that I got from the health insurance company into, what would I want to know? So for each of the plans, if you look over to that kind of left-hand middle, it'll say additional employee contributions. So this is how much more per month and per year this plan will cost at the different levels. So the broad, and then it shows the focus, which is, like I said, that I'm considering that kind of our standard, and then at the select. So how that would impact employees, and then what potentially our cost could be. Last time I talked to you about how I thought it was probably about a $60,000 difference. That is assuming that everybody takes the same plan right now. So it could be more, we could end up having to contribute more than another 60, or it could be less if we have people either move to the focus or move to the select plan from another plan. So I can't answer that until people enroll, but that's my best guess at this point, if that makes sense. So do you have any questions about any of this?
Are you planning on employees paying this rate starting effective October 1st? Because I know last year you waited until January 1.
Yes, that's an excellent question, because last year, the total impact wasn't real significant, but this year, a quarter of that 60 will have to be absorbed in the the last quarter of this year. So 15,000, I mean, I guess that's a good conversation to have. Well, and I don't know if it'll be 15, could be significantly more or significantly less. So I would like to say that we can move forward with a January 1 date, but I should rerun those numbers and make sure.
I guess my only concern is whatever decision we're making, if families are gonna have to, or if anybody's gonna have to, pay considerably more, we need to communicate that ASAP.
Yes. Yes,
So you don't have action on here,
yeah,
is there? Approved, sorry, yeah. So you need that decision tonight.
I would like to move forward with the health insurance to the provider and get going on setting up at least the conversations to have things so that if employees have questions and everything, because the renewal starts October 1, so we have to have everybody signed up prior to that, with their health plans chosen and everything, so having a little bit of time. I could definitely come back in September if you want to think about the difference between employees starting their contribution October 1 versus January 1.
I mean, I would like to give as much notice as possible, considering some of these are
Significant.
huge.
Yes.
And we're talking October, then that's right before Christmas. Like I would like to give our employees as much time as possible to budget, so I think the sooner we can make that decision, the better. It's hard that we don't have a
Yeah, calculating that number is, like I said, my best guess is $15,000. Is that accurate? I don't know.
Sam, you're our insurance guru. But you can't say anything.
I got scolded. I'm just wondering if there's something else you can do if you're gonna increase the cost that much. I mean, their HSA or contributions have been frozen for years.
What were you hoping to do, Jesse?
I think
I would very much like to go January 1, just as you said. I think people kind of set a budget. But I do think employees are aware that it's an October 1 renewal, but we did last year. There was a lot of change last year, for people. Give them a little bit more time.
I need you to seriously consider talking to WRS, like in probably March of next year, because this isn't fair.
I will I will again, I know the last time that we discussed it, there was a significant buyout to get in, but definitely can redo it.
Because you're increasing the cost for the employee, but then if they have to use their insurance, they're also paying an additional $7,000 on top of this. If they need to,
That's true.
for a family.
That hasn't changed. We did not change the deductibles, but that's true. That's the
Correct.
deductible.
But even if you're paying more of a premium at the state level, your deductible at max, I think, is $1,500 or maybe $3,000 for a family plan. So you're over halving that. I'd have to look at all the state plans again.
Yeah, it depends where you are in the state.
Well, it depends on what plan you pick. But I can tell you, for a network health plan at the state level, the local state level, employees, I think on a family plan, I wish Ryan would have stayed. I think it's less than $150 a month, and it's a $500 deductible. So,
So the buy-in might be higher, but long-term is way easier on.
because people are now gonna be dishing out
Hundred.
Focused is the one that's like the main, right?
Yes.
So.
Are you looking for the additional, because it's on the last page?
Did you have year in there?
She's got the increase.
Yes, I've got the monthly and the annual increase for each of the plans, okay?
So 284 plus 1,500. If they max out their deductible. I mean, that's a huge increase when we have, it's a huge increase with everything else right now. I know that the city can't absorb it, but I would highly encourage you to look at WRS.
So that, we're past that part though for this year.
This year you're past that.
So we need to decide if we're going to absorb the cost, pushing up the start date to January, or if we're going to.
Right, the renewal will be October 1, but whether or not the employees see the change in their contribution, October 1 or January 1. Correct. Right.
Anybody else have any input?
Yeah.
Did we have any budget for any of it?
What
Like,
did you budget
What did you budget originally? Knowing from last year, when we did the budget, did you put anything in for this?
You
I
did,
budgeted for the entire year at the rate.
oh, you did not add any additional. I would consider that next year too, for the last 3 months of the year, adding an additional 12%.
I think in the workaday world, most people are accustomed to their premiums changing in September. Like we're just very that's what happens every year, so you get accustomed to that. But I'm hearing what everybody's saying about the increase and not wanting to thrust that upon them, so I'm kind of a horse of peace here, like, it's standard to do it in September, or October, but,
I don't know when anybody else renews in October, actually. Most people I know are January 1.
I guess every business that I've been in does it in the fall.
We're January 1. Okay, we're January 1 as well.
So I'm a horse of peace. Whatever you guys think is best for the employees here.
I also think whatever, I just want to stick with whatever if we're doing it in October, then it needs to be October every year. I don't want them expecting that, well, it was October this year, it was January the year before, we don't know what it is going forward. Anyone else?
My thoughts are if we did not budget for the increase, then we should enact the rates when they go into effect.
You also need to consider when the police are changing over. When is their contract change over, January 1 or the date of the renewal?
I will have to read that specifically.
Because I'm pretty sure that went by year.
I may have. I don't have it memorized.
Like, is there a link, anything you have? Just kidding.
Could you look into that and we could see what would be next month?
Yep,
What when
September
the
8th.
police
Yep.
changeover happens to keep them in line with the city
Mhm.
workers.
I think it's also important, we have to have something needs to go out to staff.
We can approve this and come back and revisit like when they start paying in next month, but we can at least get the ball rolling on this.
We
Yes,
need to get this info out to them, I guess.
yes.
I think that's gonna cause mass panic and confusion. If they're told, well, we don't know when you need to start paying this yet.
Or maybe they'll give input.
The input's not gonna be in their favor.
It's gonna be changed
Push it out to January.
Yeah.
I guess that was my fault for not asking in the budget last year. Previously, they had always budgeted an extra
Cushion.
percentage for an increase.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal for Health Partners for employee health insurance as stated in the minutes, in the agenda, excuse me.
I'll second that.
Motion by Victoria, second by Terry. I'll need a roll call, please.
Give me just a second.
Yep.
Thank you. Prisco?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Conley?
Aye.
Stubby?
Abstain.
Claviter?
Aye.
Sorensen is absent. There are 4 ayes.
Then let's bring back the rest of that discussion, next month. But I really think we really have to communicate it to the employees. In case of decision, because then next month we're just a month away, and they're gonna have to, I mean, I don't know what our percentages are of family to single plans.
That's on the sheet too. It says the number of people, so they.
I just feel like it's gonna be way more,
How many people are in each of these, so ignore the bottom one, but the top one is how many people are in each of the plans currently enrolled. So 10
Yeah.
are in single broad, 4 are in plus spouse, and 2, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on here.
So if you can just make sure that we're, some kind of communication is going out to them. That council did not make a decision, and the decision will be in September, but there's obviously a chance that the rates could go in October versus January. Anybody else on nothing, no other questions, we're good with that? All right. On to number 15, special event, flannel revival at Grizzy's Diner and Tavern from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on August 14th, 2026. Request for a temporary extension of premises of alcohol beverage license at 186 Broadway Street to include fenced-in outdoor area. Outdoor activity areas for alcohol beverage license establishment, permits to allow live entertainment and serving of alcohol beverages, and special events on streets, highways, and municipal parking lots to allow use of city-owned lots at 119 Commercial Street and 114 Pierce Street parcels as presented for parking. Recommendation is to review the request and permit applications, discussion and action as appropriate. I see the face to the name. If you want to come up to the podium. Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Colton. Good to meet you all. Good evening. I would first like to apologize that I'm trying to squeeze this in last minute. I am learning here, so moving forward, I will be within the 45 days to respect your guys' time as well and get that on the agenda. So, but yeah, we're looking to do a live music event, and I'll let you ask the
And
question.
yeah, no, it looks like a couple of them, so
Yeah.
I think, I don't know how much, we have 2 viewers on right now, I don't know how many people follow along to our meetings, but we've mentioned several times that we are excited for you to come to town and excited for your enthusiasm and all that you're doing. So anybody have any questions for Colton, as this is our first permit from him?
No, it was well put together. Looks like you checked all the boxes. Everyone's on here.
Good deal. Can we do both of these together, or do you want them separate?
I think we can do both of them together, just make sure you specify the
Two different
events.
dates? Sure.
Did you want the 3 motions separate or all 3 motions together? 3.
Yeah, you're approving an outdoor activity area.
Then I guess,
Special event permit and the temporary extension.
Yep.
We can combine the dates as
Yeah.
on each motion.
Sure.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the temporary expansion of the area license for alcohol sales and consumption under the current alcohol beverage license at 186 Broadway Street on August 14th and September 6th, 2026, from 5 PM to 10:30 PM.
I'll second.
a motion by Terry, second by Samantha. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve the outdoor activity areas at alcohol beverage license establishments permit for Grizzlies located at 186 Broadway Street on August 14th and September 6th, 2026, from 5 PM to 10:30 PM.
I'll second.
Motion by Terry, second by Samantha. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I'll make a motion to approve the special event permit to allow temporary use of the city-owned property for event parking on August 14th and September 6th, 2026.
I'll second that one too.
Motion by Terry, second by Samantha. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good to go. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for sitting through the boring insurance.
Yeah, I usually don't pick it up. I'm sorry. I forgot that was a long talk.
No worries, no worries. Thank you, guys.
On to number 17, which is accept the resignation of Parks and Rec Commission member. The recommendation is to accept the resignation of Pat Hanrahan, I can't say his name. Hanrahan from Parks and Recreation Commission. Pat hasn't actually been here for a meeting, didn't work out, so, we're back to the drawing board. I feel like I say the same things here. We're still looking for help, so we're looking to accept that resignation.
Make a motion to accept the resignation of the Parks and Recreation Commission member, Pat Hanrahan, from the Parks and Recreation Commission.
I'll second.
Motion by Victoria, second by Jamie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 18. Discussion and action on the planning and development director position and contracting for zoning administrator position and duties. The recommendation is issuance of RFP for a contracted position to perform responsibilities associated with zoning administrator, planning and development director, and floodplain management duties.
So the only thing I noticed was most of the dates were good, except the background effective January 1, 2027.
That's been fixed in this version.
Okay.
Thank you, yes. A couple of things that were suggested when I sent that for final review. I apologize, I had it right in front of me. Here it is, sorry, okay. Got the dates squared away as mentioned. And he did suggest, and it probably makes some sense, to maybe not specify our budget max. He, suggested that it's possible sometimes when you have contracts like this, that costs can be charged back to developers and others when it is specific to them. We actually do have a policy that when a developer something comes in and is going to require specific review, they sign knowing that they are going to be charged for things that are specific for their project, for their proposal, because the whole community shouldn't have to pay for an individual who's, doing a big project. So if they feel that, depending on what kind of projects come in, that that's not attainable, that wouldn't be our cost, if that makes sense. So he wasn't, and, that's obviously up to you guys, but I thought that was a reasonable.
Is it the one at us for what bids we might potentially receive?
Well, taking it
Not
out,
bids,
proposals.
proposals, yeah.
Right, I mean, we could get proposals that we just feel are too far out there, obviously. But my hope is that if it is, a higher cost, that they would break it down by what, the developer costs, these would be our costs. And we can certainly ask a lot more questions of any of the proposals that come in if things aren't clear and make sure that that's all put away the way we need it to be. Trying to see if there's anything else.
I think I would have to agree on omitting the maximum just because that will be where everybody aims, even if they can get less.
That's probably true too. And then he also suggested that we delete what our criteria for the proposal are, because we don't want any argument with anybody that we didn't come out the way that they would have come out with our criteria, so that could be internal, and then you guys basically are just picking the proposal that you feel is best for our community, which is, of course, what we're aiming to do here.
Sorry, could you state that in a different way?
The initial version that I gave you had, criteria for how we were going to select the review criteria. And, we got rid of some of those
Oh, you just
Details.
reduced. Got it.
so that it's just basically the council's going to decide in their own discretion what's best. And just like all RFPs, if they don't say this, you need to remind that it should, you can reject all proposals. You are not required, just because we go out for proposal, to hire a firm to do this or an individual to do this. If you don't get a proposal that you feel is beneficial to the city, we can reconsider and change direction, reissue the RFP with different parameters, whatever the council chooses. You're not required to choose one. If you get 100 of them, that doesn't mean, you have to. Just so you don't feel pressured. If it's not right, it's not right. If it is, I'm hoping that we get several great ones and you have a really difficult decision deciding which one you think is best, but you don't know until you get them back.
I'll make a motion to dissolve the planning and development director position as of October 31st, 2026, and to issue an RFP for the contracted position to perform responsibilities associated with the zoning administrator, planning and development director, and floodplain management duties with the amendments that we drafted here today.
I'll second.
Motion by Victoria, second by Tracy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On to number 19, old business. Does anybody have anything for old business? Number 20, new business? I will just say a thank you to Samantha. Samantha Sands last night, we just posted our opening of our vacancy for an older person at large. So thank
I
you.
thought that was old business.
It doesn't matter, hold on, we're moving forward, we have to open up our,
Yeah.
numbers for both of them. So
I
just a
saw
thank
that
you to-
posted, yeah, so that's, has anybody peeked, responded, anything?
Oh, there's lots, just
I know, somebody already responded on the Facebook list.
Mhm. But thank you to Sam for your years that you served, and I will miss you.
Thank you.
Anything else? On to number 21.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
One last time.
I'll second that.
Motion by Samantha, second by Terry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 7:45. We're still live, so don't say anything you want to. Just kidding.
So, farewell.